Hello everybody, TK with Arizona Adventure Rentals. Today we have the 2016 Thor motor coach in Vegas, and this is a 24.1 model. Very popular. A lot of people like the big Class A style RV and still have a nice and short. They're really comfortable to drive, have big seats, just kind of makes for a different experience than the Class C's. This one has 3 big storage containers down low, and then you have one big one in the back. Big TV here, you can hook up whatever you want to your HDMI down below it. And then here in your entry steps, you have your 3 switches, which are lights. And then down below, you have a battery disconnect and you have your awning. Awning, in order to work the awning, you have to have the RV off and have plenty of battery power plugged in, or the generator on, or just have battery power to work that awning. Battery disconnect always wants to be up. That's it for the right side. You have a water fill right there, which is your black one here. Depending on how much you want to fill between day to day, you go in there, press fresh. That will tell you to fill up however much water you want. That's here for the inside of, that's it for the outside of this right side. Let's go on inside and take a look at the rest. Okay, so here's the inside of our Vegas 24.1 on that driver's side looking towards the entry. So here's your entry coming in. This is your TV. This is one of the things that runs off of 110, so you'd have to be plugged in for that, or you'd have to have the generator on. You have a HDMI cord that's up here that hooks straight to that. So a lot of people bring whatever they want, a DVD player, your laptop, anything could hook up to that to play video off of. Your sink, your water pump has to be on if you want any kind of water pressure. Stove, you have to have propane, live propane. You just press spark and turn these on, you'll have propane. That is your microwave. Again, that's 110, so you'd have to be plugged in, or you'd have to have the generator on for that. And then back here to our fridge, you have 2 switches on this fridge. One is the off and on switch. It says off, auto, and gas. I always run these on gas and then just on cold 5. And that way it'll run off of propane and battery. Once you go somewhere plugged in, then you can flip it over to auto. So biggest things with these, if you're going to run on propane mode, make sure you have battery. And we'll show you that at the panel, and then make sure you have propane. You can go here and get all your air out of the propane. If you make sure you have propane here at the stove, you can always turn this over to gas and over to cold. It does take 5 or 6 hours for it to initially get cold. Freezer always gets cold first, and then down to the fridge. So that is it for your entry. These are all just your normal kitchen cabinets. You can use these for storage, and all your silverware, pots and pans and that kind of stuff. So that's it for this right side. Let's bring you in to the entry here, and that will show your display panel to show you how to work the slides and all the good stuff. Okay, so here's our display panel. This is in the first entry of the RV when you first come in, right here on the steps on the left. This will show us where everything's at, and this will tell us how to operate everything. Starting with your generator, that's just a start-stop switch. In order to run your generator, you would just press and hold it down. That primes it when it's cold. When that light is on there, that means it's priming. So you can prime it there, and then that will start it right back up. I won't start it now because it's kind of loud. The LPG is propane. So you'll have 4 things that run off of propane. Will be your fridge, would be the first thing, your stove, your hot water, and your heater at night. So those are 4 things that are going to run off of propane. As you use propane, that's going to go down. I'll show you that outside, how to fill that back up. Anytime you fill propane back up, you want to make sure you get all the air out of the system. In order to do that, whenever you fill it full of propane, make sure you just run the stove for about 30 seconds, get all the air out. Battery level, that's full. As you're driving, it's full. As you are plugged in, it's charging. As you're driving, it's charging. And then the only way it's not charging is if you're stopped, not plugged in. Yeah, pretty much everything will run off of battery. You can run your hot water, fridge, lights, awning, beds, pretty much anything you need. The only thing that you can't really run off of battery is going to be your 110 outlets, which is your TV, your microwave, and then your air conditioning. Fresh water, this will tell you how much fresh water you have. This one's got about a 40-gallon freshwater tank. That's full. As you start using that, is going to go into black or gray. Black is always your toilet water. So anything that you use that's sewer, that is black, and then gray is always your shower water and your sink water. Slide, this has got a big main entry slide. You just press extend and retract. Extend is to go out, retract to go back in. You always want to make sure that you're plugged in when you run the slide, or that you have plenty of battery power. The bigger slides always have issues when you have low battery power. So if you're going to run the bed up above, or this slide, then you want to make sure you're plugged in or have the generator on. and that just goes in and out. Black tank heaters, we're not, in Arizona here, we're not cold enough to need these. So we never really need these unless you're going way up north in the middle of the winter. Water pump, flip that on anytime you want water pressure. Biggest is when you're going to go to the bathroom. If you don't press the water pump on before you go to the bathroom, well, you're not going to flush with anything. So before you take a shower, before you go to the bathroom, before you wash your hands, just go ahead and turn that on. If you're going to take a shower, this one actually has two ways to heat your propane, your water. You can hit it with your LP, which is your propane, or you can hit it with your 110. You'd have to be plugged in or the generator on for that. Propane usually always work better on heaters or on hot water. So, but you can use whatever if you are plugged in. Flip the water pump on along with that. You could wait about 10 minutes, then you'd have hot water. Make sure you flip those off when you're done because you're going to burn a lot of hot water up. So those are your ways you heat your water. Last and foremost is your, this is the slide over the cab. So this is the bunk bed that comes down, which is a twin bed. It's already on. We just leave it on, and that's just to raise it and to lower it. So again, you want to make sure that you have plenty of battery power or that you're plugged in or have the generator on. So that's it for your display panel. Let's go ahead and show you the rest of the inside of the RV. So here's the front of this Vegas. From the back looking forward, this is why people like the short Class A RVs. It's very uncommon to see a Class A that's this small and short, 24 foot, very not like your standard Class A RV. So the reason why is because you have these big, nice, comfortable seats. You have an insert that is a table that is back behind that couch. And then you have a lot of room here to see. You got a lot of viewpoints here. Nice big windshield. It's a lot more comfortable to drive. Class A's, they always have this big table that comes down so you can hang out. You can always turn these around. This has the twin bed up above, and that was there on the control panel. You just press down, and this comes all the way down. That you can access your bed up top. Now, you can't really access these while you have the bed down. So that's just once you stop. This is on a Ford van F450, F550 chassis. So they're all pretty much the same. This is all Ford style, on set cruise control. This isn't that heavy, but if you're ever towing anything or going down steep grades, it's always nice to push the tow haul button on. You just push that button on the dash, it'll tell you tow haul, and then it downshifts for you going down the grades. It just helps save the brakes and help smell, get that brake smell, and doesn't really burn your brakes up, just helps downshift for your engine. So this is a Bluetooth stereo. It's got a reverse camera in there as well. You put your reverse on, and then that automatically appears. If they always ask for Bluetooth pins, they're always 0000 or 1234. So you can just pair your phone to it. There's also a SD card, USB, and then also a video input on that one as well. So that's it for the front facing forward. There's some electric mirrors down there. Everything else is just your normal control knobs here. You do have charging ports, cup holders, that kind of stuff. That's it for the front. Let's show you this middle slide that turns into a bed, and then we'll go ahead and show you the back. Okay, so I want to show you this big slide, which is your couch that goes into a bed as well. You're sitting there at the entrance facing this way. We already have this slide all the way open, so don't want to make that look too deceiving, but this is all the way open, and this is our table that we have set up. When you're going down the road, you can't have this table, but it does come all the way in. This slide comes all the way in. This table goes hooked up back there to store away, and then this comes in about 3 feet to slow to kind of bring you all the way in. You got storages up here. You got lights. Again, you got 110 outlets. These are your shade covers, and that's pretty much it for here. You got cup holders and other storage areas as well. Let's go ahead and point you backwards and look and show you the back bed along with the bathroom as well. So here's the front of our RV looking backwards. I like this RV because down here in Arizona, it's hard to keep them cool going down the road. So this is nice. You can block everything off. The bathroom has double doors here. So one side opens and the other side opens, and then it gives a little bit more room for changing as well. Come on back here and check it out. Come down the hallway here. Another good thing is it has one big insert here, which makes for a ginormous bed. Which is very kind of unusual for an RV. You almost have a king-size bed. Once you go over to the passenger side, you have charging ports, you have your thermostat, and then you also have the display there for the radio. And then on the other side of the bed, you also have your big TV. So that's nice to hook up as well. There's HDMI cord that's there in the cupboard. And that's it for the bedroom. Let's go ahead and talk and show you into the bathroom. Here's our bathroom. Starting with the toilet, you always have a flusher that's down on the bottom right. Again, always make sure you have the water pump on when you flush that. Going back up, you have little storage cabinets along with your upper vent. And then it goes over to your shower, your basic shower with the detachable hose there. You got hot and cold water, along with the medicine cabinet there. And then you also have just a small sink. Okay, so here's on the left side of our RV, and that's usually where a lot of the more stuff is that you hook up to. If you're going to back up into a spot, if you see everybody RVs backed up, you're going to have to back up with them. Your hookups are always on your left side, so meaning your fuel, gas is here. Your generator runs off of that same tank, 55 gallons of fuel, and then you don't have to worry about filling your generator back up. If it is under a quarter tank, your generator sometimes will not run. It doesn't want to leave you stranded. Electrical cord is that big electrical cord in there. That's a 30 amp. That plugs into there, plugs straight into your 30 amp. If you're going to plug in somewhere, I always go straight into the RV after you plug in and make sure the microwave clock is on. If the clock is on, you know you're live. Normally, if you go to an RV park, you have to find a big breaker to make live power. The minute you turn the generator on, it's on a delay switch. Wait about 15 or 20 seconds, then all the power will become live in there. That's a TV cable there. There is a water connection here. Now on the other side, I show you how to fill up water. This is city connection. So this will pressurize your system, then you don't need the water pump. So the minute you get to your RV park, just make sure the grommet is good there, and then your hose is secure at both locations, and that will pressurize your system. Shower, this is just a little outdoor shower. You have hot and cold. Obviously, if you want hot, you have to go inside there, press your water pump, so you have pressure there, and then you'd have to press your hot water switch if you want hot water to come out there. That is just an access for the gray water. This is your dump. That is your propane. Propane always you take full, you bring back full. You got the 4 things that run off propane, which I talked about inside, and then that is your switch. Always make sure they open this back up. The RV parks always, or any place you're going to fill propane, you're going to have it open and everything running. They shut it in order to fill you up. After they fill you up, make sure you open this back up, and then I go to the stove, run it for about 15-20 seconds, let all the air out of the system. Then you know everything will work properly. This is your another storage, which we have your dump hose there, separate from everything else. Go ahead and come inside here and let's talk about the dump and how that works. Okay, so here's your dump area, and this is on the left part of the RV, about in the middle. So we give people a 15-foot RV dump hose, and that's usually always enough to, when you back up, to put right into there. Never as gross, as long as you know what you're doing, as long as you make sure that your connections are good, and it's never really a gross thing. So you hook up, but basically you have your black lever, that is for your sewer, and then you have your gray, which is just shower water and sink water. So when you get to your RV park or you get to your dump site, always the bottom of that hose, you have 4 nipples on the bottom of that pipe, and then you have 4 clamps on your hose. That goes underneath here and then clips all the way on. Once that's on secure, then it goes down into the hole. On our RV dump hose, we have 3 different connections, so just make sure you use it and unplug your hose. Make sure that it's very well secured. Once everything's secure on your hose part, you always pull black first. This is going to come back up about, maybe 3 inches, 4 inches. Once this comes up, anything that you use black is going to drain all the way down into the hose. Then you shut it, you open gray. Normally you always have a lot more shower water and sink water than you do just sewer water. So the gray is what flushes and cleans everything out. Now before you're done, I usually shut both valves and then you can put everything away, as long as you have plenty of gray water to flush it out. If you're going to stay at your RV park, you can leave both of those open. That way you go to the bathroom, everything drains out. You go to use a shower and the sink, everything drains all the way out. Before you leave, just make sure you run plenty of gray water through the system before you unpick your hose up. How you can do that is you can shut both valves and just run your sink or run your shower for about 5 minutes, come out here and pull gray, and then that makes sure you'll flush your hose all the way out. I usually run about 5 or 10 gallons, 15 if you're at a spot where there's water and you're not in any hurry. Just let the faucet run for 10 minutes, pull out there. Once that drains all the way out, then you're clean. You can shut both valves securely, put your hose away, and then you're good to go. Always, once you do flush and once you do empty everything, always make sure you go right down to the toilet, put a tablet down in there, and then that way anything that you use from spot to spot will get disintegrated. Whenever you pick up an RV from us, everything's always going to be empty and you're going to have 1 tablet in the black. So that's it for that. It's not ever gross, as long as you know what you're doing, as long as you make sure your hoses are secure is number 1. And that's it for your 2016 Thor 24.1. Like and subscribe and give us a comment on how we can better our videos.